Welcome to the replay. Hello, tea family. How is everybody doing today? Hopefully you've had a wonderful weekend. You didn't get caught by any of the storms. I know we had a lot in the Midwest and Texas and everything like that. I hope everybody is okay. We are going to start right away making tea because I'd like to drink some tea. So we are going to make today our afternoon delight. And some people shut my power source off when they were traipsing around on chairs earlier, but we won't mention any names. So say hello, put in the comments what you're drinking, or just say hello tonight. If you're drinking tea, what kind? Is it hot? Is it iced? Let us know. We're inquiring minds. Today we are actually going to be making together something I talk about all the time for kind of that late afternoon, but I don't really drink it as much when we're doing our lives, and that is our afternoon delight. So today we're going to have some afternoon delight on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Ooh. Now, afternoon delight is a mixture of black teas from Sri Lanka and India and hibiscus from Egypt. And if you can look in there, you can see some of the coloration, that rosy red, kind of almost like a purple tinge to it. That is the hibiscus. Oh my gosh, it really smells amazing. So what I have to say is hibiscus is one of those things that so many people, I should probably start to do it, so many people really enjoy. It is both sweet and tart. It is considered the cranberry of flowers because it has both a sweetness as well as a tartness to it. So it is not going to bring super florally flavors in. It also makes a beautiful color, which you'll be able to see. And again, just so you see what it looks like, it is mixed with that black tea blend from Sri Lanka and India. And so that is why we are talking about afternoon delight today as we wait for it to go. As you can see, I have one of my actual teacups up today. This is really truly one of my favorites. It's Royal Vale. This was made in England. It is bone china, but it has always been one of my very favorites, and I'll show you. Just always one of my favorite teacups that we've had for years. So, it's only a 6-ounce teacup, so there'll be plenty to enjoy. All right. Now, I did want to talk about a couple of things today. Remember, if you have questions, please, 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 please put them in the comments. I am happy to enjoy and enjoy answering your questions. Hi, Stephanie. I'm so glad you like that Earl's Lady. Stephanie was one of our tea family. And Diane is also drinking Earl's Lady. So those are two of the people that asked for that free sample for our Celebrating Mom live tea party event and sale that we had on Friday. And so they're just enjoying it now. The question is, ladies, are you having it as a hot tea, an iced tea, or as a mocktail? Just wondering. So, but today, afternoon delight, wanted to mix it up. As much as I love Serene Sunrise, I do always want to kind of mix it up. Stephanie's drinking it hot today. That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, they actually say that, I don't know what your grandparents or your great-grandparents actually told you, if you drink a hot drink in the summer, it cools you off more. There are actual studies, scientific studies, that prove that. Diane's also having hot tea. That will cool you off more than having an iced drink in the summer. Go figure. Grandparents knew best on that one. Remember when we were talking last week, we were talking about that kind of rolling with their boil. So we're probably at about 165, 170 when we start to see when the bubbles come up. We start to see the lines. We'll be at like 175 to 185, somewhere around in there, and then we'll wait for it to boil. Just always fun to be able to know what the boiling looks like in case you just have to make water in an open pan. So We're going to be having afternoon delight today. Now, I love milk in my black teas, but when I have afternoon delight, because of that tartness, I don't always want milk with it. Sometimes I just drink this sucker straight. No sugar, no sweetener, nothing. Now, this would be a really good one if you had a honey or even a flavored honey. Now, if I was going to add an infused honey like my Remy B's friends make, I would probably add like a cinnamon honey or what they call their spice honey to match with this. So I'm going to pour that in there. And always we're going to shut this off. I love electric tea kettles because this is completely cold, so I can literally put it down here and not have to worry about it burning the table, but then I get my space back. Speaking of my space back, time to set a timer, because remember, time your tea. When you let it sit in there too long, that gives extra time for tannins, which is what makes it bitter because the tannic acids brew up. So, now, you don't always notice me steep my tea like this. You can. Sometimes I'll do it once or twice, but it's not like the paper tea bags where you're trying to get water into all of them that have been compacted down into this tiny little tea bag. You don't need to do that with loose leaf tea that you have a big enough infuser for. When you give it enough room to be able to expand naturally and get full flavor out of it, you don't have to worry about steeping it and moving it up and down. Now, some people just really enjoy that kind of motion. It's relaxing to them. It's part of their tea experience. No problem. It's not going to hurt you to do it. You just don't have to. So while we're waiting for that to steep, I thought I would talk just a minute about hibiscus. We always get people asking about the nutritional information, and they want to do this to their health, and they're trying to impact it with tea. And tea for more than centuries has really been able to help people. In fact, it originally came not as a drink, but as a part of the medicines in the Far East. So I understand. However, what I want to say is a couple things. I'm not a medical professional, and I am not going to make any statements that have been approved or not approved by the FDA. I am not going to talk about nutritional value of anything. What I will tell you is on a Google search, which you could do for yourself, there are always a few things that are very interesting that come up about hibiscus. Number one, there are those that claim that it can help with cholesterol. There are also those that claim it can help lower blood pressure. And there are some that even claim that there are studies or something that weight management. Now, I'm not making any of those claims. I'm not a health professional. I do not want to get in trouble with FDA. I am not making that. I'm just saying these are some of the things I found on Google. But one thing I absolutely can tell you, without getting into trouble, is that hibiscus is packed, more so than many other foods or vitamins or herbs or things, with polyphenols, which, as we know, are antioxidants. It actually has much higher levels of antioxidants than so many other things. And that is always a good thing. So I wanted to make sure. Now, another fun fact about hibiscus. Did you know that there's 2 kinds of hibiscus that are often found in teas? I have to look at my notes for these because I'm going to say the wrong one. Or I'm going to mispronounce it. There's a good chance that I'm going to mispronounce it anyway. So we're going to let this cool for a second. Look at that. I don't know. You can't tell that beautiful purpley color. Hang on. See, on the camera it looks red. Can you turn that light on for a sec? Let's see if my handy dandy assistant can help me. I haven't forgot. We're going to talk about the 2 different kinds. Okay. So if you look, it looks kind of brown on the screen, but it's actually like a really deep purple. You can shut that off. Well, you can leave it on. It's a really deep purple in color. It is a really good burgundy that has on the purple side of burgundy. It is unique. It is not like other, I'm trying to, woo! But at the same time, that's really hot when you don't handle your teacup correctly. Let's see. Can you see that? Probably not as well. Well, you'll have to try some, but it's a really gorgeous purpley color. So there's two different kinds of hibiscus plants that are typically found in teas. The first one is Hibiscus subdifera. I'm sure I pronounced that incorrectly. My days of Latin roots are long gone. The other one is Hibiscus rosa sinensis, and that is the most common one. It is less expensive, but it is the most common found in tea products. We don't use that one. We actually use the one that, the Hibiscus subdifera, because we go with a higher quality, and so it is a little more expensive, but the quality and the flavor is amazing. And you'll notice I have a little tiny teaspoon today. Let's see. Oh, can you see the purpley color? Can you bring that light this way? See if I can. As we play around. Nope. Nope. Okay, that can go back. I wish I could show you better. But anyway, it is just a nice little, I love using the tiny little teaspoons. As you can see, it is super tiny. I'm gonna sip on my tea. Okay, so what I'm gonna have is, the first thing I taste is the tartness of the hibiscus, and then balancing that black tea, and then it ends with kind of that sweet note. It is so yummy. But that's one of the reasons why you will not see me drinking this with a milk in it, because it's got so much of that tartness and that kind of cranberry, and I'm not a cranberry and milk kind of a person. So, again, if you want to find out about health benefits of hibiscus or anything else, consult your doctor, consult your own search. I am not claiming anything that is going to get me in trouble with the FDA. Sorry. But, anybody have any questions? Please put them in the chat. I'll put my spoon down now. All right, so remember, anytime you have questions, just, hey, wait. Really? I'm going to take that back.
Ooh, that's good.
My handy dandy assistant just stole my tea, slurped a bit, and then I got it back. Dang it. He needs to go make his own. Here, you can use this and brew your own, honey. He totally stole my tea again. He does this. You can always tell when he likes something because he steals it right in front of everybody. Okay. So, did we have any tornadoes? So, I know that there were tornadoes over the weekend around us. I did hear one yesterday, but then we left that area. My handy dandy assistant was out fishing, and he didn't have his hearing aid in, so he didn't hear it. But we did have wind in we have a pretty protected wooded area where we live, and when we got back, there was winds hitting 76 miles an hour here. So it was pretty interesting, but no tornadoes that I physically saw. I do know that there were some one that was not too far away from us, the one I heard, and then there were some throughout other places in the state. But I guess after living in Texas for so long and in Kansas for so long, I'm kind of like, and it's another tornado, yay! But good question. So now I'm going to ask you all a question. I figured we'd have some fun today, and I'm going to ask you some fun facts about tea. All right, you ready? Are you ready? I know you are. Okay, I want you to put in the comments what you think the answer is. What country in the world consumes the most tea each year?
37.
That's not a country. All right, so go ahead and put it in the comments. What country do you think consumes the most tea every year. So I've got Stephanie who's saying India. And I've got another one. Diane saying England. Oh. I've got another person that's saying Japan. I'm going to count down and then I'm going to tell you the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turkey. Turkey is the #1 consumer of tea. Second is the country of Ireland, and third would be England itself. Thought you might find that interesting. But that kind of goes along. I'm going to give you a multiple choice. So we as teachers always called it multiple choice. Kids as always called it multiple guess because, you know, you could eliminate a couple right away. All right, are you ready? I'm going to give you 3 choices after I answer the question. All right. How many cups of tea do you think are consumed on average per year in the U.S.?
Turkey.
So, no, it's not Turkey. That was the answer to the last question. Your second guess would have been Kansas. See, that's quite possible. I do drink an inordinate amount of tea, but, you know. Okay, so cups of tea consumed in the U.S. per year. Answer A, 100 billion cups of tea per year. Answer B, 85 billion cups of tea per year. Or answer C, 50 billion cups of tea per year. So answer number A, 100 billion. Answer B, 85 billion. Answer C, 50 billion cups. Either way, there's billions of cups consumed in the U.S. every year. Pretty interesting. All right. And wow, everybody's on it today. I have 3 B's answering. Yes, you are correct. 85 billion cups of tea per year in the U.S. are consumed. That is fascinating to me. Who would have thought? Did you know that over half of the population of the United States drink tea? At least once a year. That's pretty cool. So 84% of the tea that we drink in the United States is black tea. 14% of the tea consumed in the United States is green tea. And then you got oolong and some herbals and other stuff. So those are your 2 predominant ones, but 84% black tea. Now this next fact that I'm going to share with you might make it a little more understood why so much of it is black tea.
So people who only drink 1 cup a year, everybody else has to make up for it?
Yes, those that only drink 1 cup a year, everybody else has to make up for it. 75 to 80% of the tea consumed in the United States every year is iced tea or cold tea. So actually not hot tea like we are all enjoying tonight. But that's going to be anything from the teas that you buy on the shelf to the sweet tea of the South to the iced tea of the North to the cold brews and everything like that. But so 75 to 80% of us in the United States drink cold tea as opposed to hot tea. Thought those would be pretty interesting things. Those were unique facts about tea this year or this week. So I was stunned. I don't know. You guys can share your own reactions in the chat or the comments. I just literally was stunned that 85 billion with a B cups of tea per year in the U.S. That's a lot of tea. I couldn't believe how much that really was. So, anybody else have any other questions? That's okay. I know we typically once a month do a really huge question and answer, so I'm not going, I like to answer questions as they kind of come up. So, again, what we were drinking today was our Afternoon Delight the black tea and hibiscus blend. I'm going to have to get a refill because somebody drank most of it. I won't mention any names, but my handy dandy assistant is sitting right there, just not mentioning any names at all. All right. I do also want to do a quick reminder that our Celebrating Mom live tea party, that ends tonight. So if you haven't watched it, it is pinned on our Facebook page. You can watch it. There is a comment at the end. There's something I talk about at the end. There's an extra benefit for watching the only way through. That will come down as of midnight tonight. And although you'll be able to watch the event after tonight at midnight, you won't get the same sale prices or the unique products that we produce only for those events. So,
Diana's question.
Do I have a 110 grill restaurants in Kansas? No. Not that I know of. I've never heard of them. That must be a New England thing.
Yankee.
And then, what is my favorite tea to use over ice? I would have to say, I have been a traditionalist for a really long time, so like a breakfast blend or a morning Irish over ice has always been my favorite, up until about 2 or 3 weeks ago when we were doing the Emerald Garden green tea as a sampler at the Wamego Tulip Festival. And I absolutely fell in love with that Emerald Garden as an iced tea. You know, we brewed it up and put it in the fridge and just cooled it off, and it was amazing. So clean, just a really great thing. They make a pear blackberry iced tea. So that is not all that far away from what we did at the event on Friday when we made the Countess mocktail with the Earl's Lady and blackberries and the vanilla simple syrup. But that sounds really interesting. We could add some pear to that. We'll have to try that one. I also wanted to bring an update. We're definitely going to need to try that one. I also wanted to bring an update on the peach tea. It is officially going to go out next week to our testers. Haven't been able to connect with them due to our crazy schedules lately, but that will be going out that. And just because you all are here on a Sunday at our live event, I figure I will share that we are going to match the freeze-dried peaches and the green tea with one of the ingredients that's in there are actually raspberry leaves, which actually bring a sweetness to the tea that is really, really nice. So we're still super excited. We're still playing. Every time we thought we had it and we were ready to put it out, we're like, let's play with it a little bit more. So that should be going out next weekend. All right. Yeah, that should be really great as a cold brew as well. You know, it's like peaches and raspberries go together well anyway, but we didn't want to overwhelm the peach flavor because peach is such a light flavor in a tea that we didn't want to overwhelm it with anything. So we went and we have some red raspberry leaves that we added it into the blend, and we're liking in that direction. So like I said, it's got a couple of other things in there, but that's what we're looking at. The raspberry leaves themselves, how to describe it? I would say they add a sweetness. It's not a full-on raspberry flavor, but it is a hint of the raspberry flavors. So hard to describe sometimes. So they don't have a specific, like, you know, your Centra has a very specific, green tea has a very specific flavor. Your peaches have a very specific flavor. It is more a sweet berryness that it adds to it rather than a specific flavor that most of us would be able to identify. I guess that's the way is we can't always identify that flavor, but that is what we have been working on. So we like to try and find different things that are going to balance well. So yeah. Well, I'm glad you were hoping that was going to be the answer. It's so hard sometimes because what I taste is sometimes different from what you'll taste and how you'll interpret it. And I know some people, when I try and describe something, they really feel like, oh, well, if I say it's going to be peach, it's going to be like a chemically enhanced peach flavor. No, it's going to be a light peach flavor because it's all natural. I'm not adding in artificial or even natural flavors to it. And so that is going to be a difference. Don't be expecting it to like you're drinking peach juice. That's not what it's going to taste like. It's a peach tea. It's a tea that has peach in the flavor, just like it's going to have that sweet berryness in the flavor of the raspberry leaves, as opposed to one specific note like you would with like a peach juice or something like that. All right. Any other questions? These are great questions. I love chatting about tea. All right.
Yeah, where are the raspberries?
So, handy dandy assistant's looking. He was like, I don't know where the raspberry leaves are now. I can't find them. I know where they are. They're hidden away from him.
Aha.
That's what it is. All right. Well, I don't see any other questions coming up. Other than that, I hope everybody has a wonderful week. Hopefully we will have better weather, not so many storms and chaos. I know we had planned to broadcast on Friday Life from actually camping, but that didn't quite work out for us. And then we had some issues with power going on and off. So it was not the most relaxing weekend from that standpoint. So, all right, that being said, I wish you all the best, and I will see you all later. Have a great evening.